Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show, and we're back to the Tecsun S-8800 radio. And we're going to jump ahead a little bit because I know you're interested in reception. Now, let me caveat this. Where I've got the radio right now, which is in my office, there's a horrendous RF noise environment. I got 5 or 6 computers running, I got tablets running, cell phones, routers, so there's a lot of RF. So keep that in mind when I'm working or I'm using the radio on the built-in telescopic antenna. The telescopic antenna is about 42 inches. And right now I've got it scanning. I got it doing the ATS, automatic tuning and scanning function of all the international broadcast bands. Now, it appears that the radio scans a little beyond each of the international broadcast bands, because I noticed, for instance, it just went through the 31 meter band and it went up to 10 megahertz, which is a little above the normal 31 meter international broadcast band. So it's scanning right now, and I've got it switched to the telescopic antenna. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning here in Clearwater, Florida. I normally get stations from Asia, China radio, for instance, Japan radio. I usually get those early in the morning. And I don't know exactly right now, but probably I'm maybe at the peak. No, not quite at the peak. Right at the peak would be when the conditions are right for receiving from one part of the world and the station's transmitting from another part of the world. I'm trying to think what that's called. I can't remember. Anyway, so it's running right now, and I'm going to zoom in, and I'm just trying to give you some idea. Let me see if I can get rid of some of this glare. I've turned a couple of lights off to try to get rid of the glare. Let me zoom in a little more so you can see. There we go. As well as possible, the display. I forgot what I was going to say before. Anyway, now see, I'm getting a little graininess in my picture, and it's probably due because I turned the lights down. Let me turn the light back on. Yeah, that's better. Oh, maybe. I was trying to keep the glare off the screen. Okay, apparently it has finished its scan. I started to scan before I started the recording. And so it's scanned all the international broadcast bands. This radio, like many radios, when in that ATS mode, it only scans the international broadcast band frequencies, which makes a little sense, because if you scan outside of those bands, you're going to get a lot of signals, and there's only a limited number of memory locations that it can store into. I think it's, let me look it up for you. I hate to guess, and my memory is so bad. Here it is. For shortwave, it will store 250 stations. And like I say, if you scan the entire shortwave band, you're going to get way over that, probably, in the number of hits, many of them being just noise, because they can't discern between a real station and noise. So therefore it only scans those limited number of frequencies, which is the international broadcast bands. Boy, I jabbered on that alone. So we're going to use the remote and control this radio with the remote. Let me get zoom out a little bit so that the remote will be in this picture too. So it now has done that scan and stored what it found, which could be either noise or a station. And this is the shortwave band. I'm going to start with the shortwave band first. And now we can use the remote and go through what it's found. So we turn the volume back up. Again, it's on the built-in telescopic antenna. A lot of noise. Again, probably because the noise in this room. That's the preacher man. It's coming in pretty good though. Now, what I'll do is I'll switch the antenna. First I'll turn the volume down. I'll switch the antenna to the external antenna, which I have my G5RV outside antenna connected to the back of this radio. So let's turn the volume back up. We're on internal antenna. Wow. Little muffled. The S meter is full scale. Now I noticed yesterday when I was scanning, right now atmospheric conditions are not too good. Well, they're poor. I shouldn't say not too good. They're poor for shortwave listening. They're terrible for shortwave listening. So that's another problem. So we're getting a preacher man, probably out of Tennessee in the United States. So it's not real far away. And let me go back and I'll switch between internal and external antenna. External. So we're getting, even there we're getting interference. Or internal. Really bad. External. Now it might not be exactly tuned to the right frequency too. So you'd have to adjust that by going out of the memory mode to the variable frequency mode. So that's how you could fine tune it. It looks like it's on a reasonable frequency, 3.185. Now, for my location, the lower part of the shortwave band is usually pretty noisy too. So let's move on. Let's go to the next station or signal it found. It's not too bad. Okay, there's the next one, 3.215. That's Preacher Man also. That's on external antenna, telescopic antenna. And as I said when I started, my office environment is terrible for listening to shortwave or medium wave. FM is okay because it's frequency modulated instead of amplitude modulated. That's coming in good. Again, full scale. Again, that's probably the transmitter in Tennessee or Kentucky, somewhere in that area. Let's go to the next station that it found. Cuban station. So again, it's probably pretty close to me. External antenna. Internal. Struggling. Okay, let's go to the next station. That was external antenna right there. There. Preacher Man again, 5.890.
From the harvest of the wheat, and they will be burnt. They will be burnt. And then he will gather the wheat into his garner for the saints into his kingdom.
Pretty clear. There seems to be a little low frequency noise in the background. No, we don't want to have music. So that's external antenna, internal antenna. Actually, the level came up a little bit, but so did the noise. Okay, let's get away from that because it's got music. We shouldn't be recording music. 5.980. That is internal antenna. External. The low frequency noise went away. So that's coming, that low frequency noise I had on the telescopic antenna is coming from the room. Let's go to the next one. Another Cuban station. Internal. External. So I think you can hear that the level of the station is about the same whether I'm using a 102-foot external antenna that's 20 feet in the air versus this telescopic antenna. It's just that noise in the room is getting in. So the reception is good. I'd say excellent. Now, granted, those are local stations, so hopefully we can get like China Radio and a couple of stations that are further away. So let's move on. 6.130. Internal, which is what I scanned on. Use it when I was in the scan mode. I was on the internal antenna. Another Cuban station or Spanish station. Now, right now, on internal antenna, which is what I was using when I did the scan, not too good right this minute. That's internal. That's external. Did I hit the wrong button? Nope. Station's gone. So that station is coming and going. I got to remember which. Okay, I'm external antenna right now. Let's go to the next station. Okay, that was it. It just went around. That's all the stations it found. Now, we will try to get it to scan, and I'll have it selected. I'll have the external antenna selected. Okay, it's on the external antenna right now. So I'm going to hit scan. Okay, now it's scanning the international broadcast bands only. And if I got, there's two modes of this. One is you just scan the band that the radio's in, just that one band, and the other one is you scan all of the international broadcast bands, which I think is what it's doing right now. And that'll take a few minutes, so I got time to jabber. No, I won't jabber. The remote has been working perfect. I'm still learning how to use the remote. Some of the functions are not intuitive, and so I have to go back to the manual right now because I'm just learning. And what it's doing in this mode, if I had the volume up, is it's scanning the band, and when it finds what it thinks is a station, it stops for a few seconds and stores it in its memory, internal memory, and then goes on. All right. And while it's scanning, at any time, if you change the frequency by using the dial here or the dial down here or the remote, it will stop scanning. So if you hear a station that you're interested in, if you have the volume up, I got the volume turned off. Let me turn the volume up. It will, like I say, when it finds a station or a signal, it will stop for a few seconds and let you listen to it, and you can stop the scanning at that time if you want to. So it's up to 13 megahertz. And I know the show's going to run a little long, and like I say, I'm not really testing because I know this environment is not a good environment, but maybe that's a good test to show you, how the radio operates in a really bad RF environment. So that's what we're doing. I also did some testing yesterday afternoon about 2 p.m., mainly to learn how to use the remote. And I observed a couple of things which I'll talk about later in this show. And I can't think of anything else to say while this thing is continuing to scan. And of course, there's many variables here. The atmospheric conditions, as I mentioned before, are terrible. The time of day is always related to what you're going to hear. Like typically in the mornings, at least at my location, I get stations on the lower part of the bands up to about 10 megahertz. And in the late afternoon and evening, it gets better, or should I say in the afternoon, it gets better for the upper band, 10 megahertz and above, and then at night it goes back down to the lower bands or the stronger. So here it's finished and it's stored. There's a couple of different things it does on the ATS, and I don't remember which is which, but one mode, it will overwrite all your memory locations. So it starts back at memory location 1 and starts writing into them again. There's another mode where it will start storing at the last unused memory location, so it preserves the ones you had, which I think is what it did here. So let's see what we got. We got 2.380. That sounds familiar. We're on the external antenna. Okay, we're hearing two stations. One is probably the station that's on the shortwave band, and I think the other one is on the medium wave band. Now, granted, we're pumping in from the external antenna, which is pretty sensitive. So, yeah, I'm just going to tell you, I noticed yesterday in the afternoon that I was getting stations, a few frequencies on the shortwave band that were medium wave stations. And the medium wave station that I was hearing predominantly is that one that drives me crazy. It's at 820 kilohertz. And that station is only about 6 miles from me. It's during the daytime, it's 50,000 watts. I mean, it's just whoom, wiping me out. But when I was noticing that on this radio, I turned on my Grundig 750, hooked it to the same antenna, the same external antenna, slightly different cable, little short cable. It's about 18 inches. I got two 18-inch cables going to a switch, so I can switch between two radios. And I switched to the to the Grundig 750 shortwave band, same frequency, and I did not get that medium wave station. I tuned around that frequency. I did not get that medium wave station. I had the Grundig 750 tune all the international broadcast bands using the ATS function, just like I did here. It never received a medium wave station on the shortwave band. This radio does. Now, on the shortwave band, I've only noticed it on the lower part of the shortwave band. That's the only place I've received that strong medium wave station or any medium wave station on this radio on the shortwave band. I did manual scanning through the entire band, and I did not receive it anywhere above, I'd say 3.5 megahertz. I didn't receive that station bleeding over to the shortwave. So it's only in a limited area, and it's at one station that, you know, I'm surprised it doesn't light up my house. It's so strong and so close. Now, it's in the morning now, and they cut their power down to 1,000 watts. Not, oh, excuse me, 1,000 kilowatts, not 50,000. So it significantly reduced, but I think I'm still hearing it on this particular frequency. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's that station because it's a talk radio station, and that's what I'm hearing in background here. Now, as you could hear, if I would shut up long enough, you could hear better. So what I think I'm hearing is the Preacher Man station, this is at 2.380, and that medium wave station, kind of at an equal volume or strength. So let's go on. Let me turn the volume back up. Okay, there's the Preacher Man again, like I had before. He appears to be a little overmodulated. I'll let you listen. Now this is showing full scale. Let me try the DX switch on the side. It's supposed to there is no RF gain control, but the DX switch is supposed to reduce the RF. We try that.
God said, I didn't talk to him. I didn't tell him that. He was going to go down and take that thing with him.
Kind of muffled, isn't it?
The very thing. That thing said will not take place. So it take place. And judgment comes.
Then it could be it's a little off frequency. So let me change the mode. See if I can figure out where the button is. Right here. I'm going to change the mode to, instead of memory mode, to variable frequency mode. And then I can tune it manually.
I would like to know more about this fourth thing.
I try to.
Why not?
No, it still sounds overmodulated. Now, I have noticed that on other radios, in certain atmospheric conditions, you get that phenomenon, and you can't get rid of it. I don't know what it's about, but it's there. So it sounds like that could be the case. So let's move on. So we need to go back to memory mode, and we'll see what else it found. We're back on, I never can remember which setting, up or down. Okay. Down is external antenna, so that is down, and then up is DX mode. Okay, so let's turn the volume back up, and we'll move on. Okay, there he is at 3.215. I'm on the external antenna, which is what I used to scan this time, and it's much clearer. It's weaker, but it's clearer. Let's move on. I told you it's going to take a long time. That's noise. Probably something in my room. That's data. And it's at 4.005. Sounds a little bit like RTTY, but it's pretty clear. Let's go on. Now that I believe at 4.035, I believe the only thing I'm hearing there right now is that medium wave station. Again, I've heard it up to about 4 megahertz. Yeah, that's what that is.
There's rarely a moment of the day when I'm not within arm's reach of a good book. Like you, perhaps, I'm a
4.840.
great leader.
Pretty clear.
Powerful coach who motivated his players and
Now granted, again, the S meter is full scale.
are you like that? A good biography translates
I wonder what it is without a station.
sometimes
Let me just try something curious. Let me go back to VF mode, and I'm going to tune off of this station. Yeah, that's the noise in this room, all over the band. So the noise in this room, actually I take that back. We are on the external antenna, and it's shielded cable, so we should not be seeing the effect of the RF noise in this room. I say we shouldn't, but we are, or it's just that's the way conditions are right now. Total uncontrolled conditions that I can't do anything about. I'm suspecting that. Okay, so I'm surprised any station is coming through that noise. Let's go back to memory mode. We'll go through a couple more of these real quickly, and then we'll switch bands.
time for wimps.
That's clear as a bell.
Subject next weekend, right here on Insight for Living.
Nope, we don't want to play too much music. I think that's WWCR again in the United States. I think that's what that is. Switch band, fix. This is the next one. More data. Okay. Ah, WWV. Coming and going. And I've been on for almost 30 minutes, so conditions could change. Well, conditions changed. There's WWV. External antenna. And we switch to internal. There's internal. Just noise. Okay, going on. Nice and clear station. Spanish station, probably close by. Noise. Another Spanish station, speaking station. Probably another station in the United States someplace. Spanish station.
Visit our website.
Picture man.
Our website is most informative.
Loud and clear, 5.89. Ooh, that's nice and clear, but I got it's music, I got to turn it down. That's at 5.935. It's clear as a bell. Okay, we change stations. Another Spanish station. I typically get Spanish stations this time of day below, say, 7 megahertz. And I don't, many of them, I don't know any idea where they are because they don't register their station. Another one, that one's quite common. I think that's Radio Habana. Sorry for the reflection on the screen. Noise, noise. I'm not sure what that station is. Preacher man. Time signal. Spanish station. No, I take it back. WWV at 10. Noise. There's some weak stations there. I think that's Radio Habana. There it is again. There it is again. Okay, that's it. So I found a lot of stations. Again, I was on the external antenna. I did not find China Radio at 9780. Let me go back to variable frequency, and I'll use the remote to punch in 9780. And I'll turn the volume back up. Nope, not there. I thought that was the right frequency. I'm getting so old I don't remember things, so I have to go by a guide. Let me take 1 second here to look it up. Oh, such a dummy. And we'll go to short-wave.info to find out what's on right this moment. If my computer or I'll ever find it. Oh, naturally. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're going to type in CRI. No, that's not going to work. I got to select CRI. China Radio at this time is broadcasting on 9570. Oh, 9570 and 9870. I have totally got it wrong. So let's punch in 9870. Nothing. So it also said, I mean, they're all over the band. I think there was one 7250. 7250. Nope, I can't get China Radio this morning for some reason, even on my external antenna. So much for that idea. Let's move on. Now we're going to try, I have to be really careful about trying the FM band because it's got music and I went into a copyright violations. But I'm gonna tune or try to tune the lower part of the FM band, which is a lot of cases it's talk radio at the lower part. So let's go to the FM band, and now it's on. See, I've already scanned once before yesterday, so it's got some memories, some frequencies with memory stored in them. I'll turn it up. Now we're on the external antenna, and I'm not in memory mode. There we go. Whoops, wrong button. There are, number one, there's a ton of FM and AM stations near me, and some of them are quite weak. They're low-powered stations. This is one of them at 8820. So I'm not surprised that it's weak. Now let's try the internal antenna. No difference. No difference at all. Okay, so let's go up to the next one it's found. Clears a bell. Okay, I'm going to stop there because I'll get in trouble. Yesterday I tuned the FM band. Actually, I did an ATS, and it found dozens of stations, most of which were very strong, very clean. The audio was perfect, Nothing wrong with it. So that's all I'm going to say about the FM band. No interference from the medium wave band. Nothing. It just worked perfect. So that's all I'm going to say about it. So let's go to the AM band, or the medium wave band, and let's see.
Since I have been born.
There are two stations that are close to me. The one that I mentioned before, which is very powerful in the daytime, not so bad and not so strong in the nighttime because they switch power. And one is at 820, that's that one. And the other one is 860, which is this one. Whoops, I just kicked it.
Content, including all financial data, editorial content, and advertising provided on this program is intended for persons.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to manually and quickly, because we're up to 35 minutes, scan or tune the AM band with the volume on.
Decisions made on the basis of this information.
And I'm just going to start at 860.
Before proceeding. Margins of folks not agreeing with that decision to pay for.
Not sure what that is. Let me turn it up. It's not what I would consider what is called a birdie, which is an internal noise generated in the radio that sounds like a bird, high-pitched sound. It doesn't sound like that. But I noticed this yesterday at a couple of different frequencies. Now, there is no local station at 960. There was one at 970. There it is. Clear as a bell. That other noise is not bothering it. Let's go on. There's some more noise. Again, there's no station there. I have a listing of the local AM stations within I think this is within 100 miles of me. And if I look at 980, there is no station within 100 miles from me. Now, I could be getting what is known as medium wave DXing. That means distant stations coming in. That's quite common this time of day, at night or in the morning. It's 5 o'clock already. Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll go on. Turn the volume up. Don't know what that noise is. Probably in my room. Now I wonder, I've got it switched to external antenna. Let me lower the telescopic antenna. Oh, that won't make any difference anyway, because when they're on medium wave, it's using an internal antenna that's built inside the radio. So external, internal, doesn't matter. It's using a built-in antenna, which means it's picking up noise from my office. That's probably what that is. Now that is, according to my sheet here, that is a local station. It is 35 miles from me, though, if that's what the station I'm hearing is. I don't know for sure that that's it. It could be 820. Let's go back to 820.
They're still trying to figure out whether to give you a deduction over the state or local income.
Okay, they're talking about taxes. Let's go back to that station. I can't tell. Go back. I don't think it is. Voice sounds different. Okay, let's go back. 810, one, yeah, here. 1040. It is a local station. Actually, it's a couple of them on 1040. And one is only 6 miles from me. Clear as a bell. Picking up a lot of stations. Some of them pretty weak.
The great one, Jackie Gleason, is smoking.
1110.
Wow, there are one-liners that go on.
There are no 1110 stations close by.
That man was well known for him, that's for sure. Anyway, everybody, cow straight for the moon, or however that honeymooner quote was. Everybody, moon, Alice, to the moon. There you go. Everybody's welcome. Wednesday, November 8th, 6 o'clock, Smoking the Bandit will be showing.
It's clear as a bell. It's full scale. Again, this time of morning, I can get distant stations. So it could be a distant stations. Matter of fact, I have another huge listing of stations that are, I don't remember the maximum, but they are, well, there's one that's 200 miles away. So let me look at 110. Yep, there is a station down 110. That's interesting. It says it's only 10 miles from me. And 110 doesn't show up on this. I made this short listing this morning, and that station does not show up. And maybe, no, it was 10 miles. Should have shown up. Maybe it's a new station. I don't know. Okay, so that is a valid station, and it says 10 miles from me. Doing pretty good. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. This is way too long. 1250. 1300. 1340 with music. A lot of them I'm skipping over. $15.20. Okay, that's it. So, the only problem I noticed is, number one, there was a couple of frequencies that I was getting noise, probably from this room. Number two, that one strong station, 820, it showed up on one other frequency, and only it was there. So that was a bleed over or harmonic I was picking up. The 820 station was also received on a couple of frequencies down below 6 megahertz on the shortwave band. That's it. So it looks like medium wave is working fine with that exception. FM is perfect, no problems there at all. And shortwave does appear to be very sensitive given the present conditions, which right now shortwave is just terrible. Just terrible. So I'm surprised I could read anything. So, kind of an empirical test, but it does give you some idea of the reception capability of this radio. Yeah, I'm sorry it's so long, but it takes a long time to go through these bands. I went through all 3 bands, and to give you some idea of the reception, I don't see any problem with this radio, with the exception of the fact that it did have bleed over on the shortwave band from the medium wave band, from that very, very strong station. Now, keep in mind that the built-in antenna for medium wave is always connected. Now, it should be switched out when you go to shortwave, but it's still connected and it's still in the radio. So that may be one way it's bleeding over to shortwave. Again, when I tested that same frequency yesterday, while that station was broadcasting at its high wattage, 50,000 watts, the Grundig did not get any bleed over from that station anywhere on the shortwave band using an external antenna. So that's it. The other thing is, I believe, and we can switch over there real quick, maybe if I don't knock anything. There's the 750, and my understanding, and I need a pointer, but I don't have, because I can't reach it, but my understanding is the medium wave antenna is in this little gizmo up here. That's my understanding. So it's a little different than it being buried down inside there. That's my understanding. I could be wrong, and correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is the medium wave antenna on this radio is in this rotatable thing right here. That's it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. We're going to do a couple more shows on this radio. Right now, I like the radio. I love the remote. It seems to work on reception with that limited amount of testing, and I'm going to do a lot more testing. That limited amount of testing, it seems to be working quite well. I don't have any problems except for that one bleed over, and it was only on the lower part of the shortwave band, and it was only in a couple of places. That's it. Thanks for watching, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye. 46 minutes. Oh, my gosh.